in the heart of the cookie kingdom, where every cookie's dream is made of chocolate chips, something terrible has been happening every night. The chocolate chips have been disappearing from the cookies. It all started when the king's daughter, Princess Cream, had an idea. She wanted to make her very own chocolate chip cookie recipe for the kingdom. But every night she went into the kitchen, she would find that someone had stolen all the chocolate chips. Now, the princess was a kind and caring ruler, but she was also very, very hungry. So she called for her royal bakers, Chip, Crunchy, and Chewy, and told them they were going on a deliciously funny adventure to find the chocolate chip thief. Now, Crunchy was a no-nonsense kind of cookie. He liked things to be neat and orderly, like in a perfectly balanced stack. So he set about organizing the evidence. First, he had the royal guards bring in all the half-a-tin cookies from around the kingdom. Then he and Chip, who was covered in sprinkles, carefully looked for crumbs, chocolate smears and other clues, while Chewy sniffed around the room. "I smell chocolate," he said, leading them toward a big bag of flour. "And I smell squirrel," added Crunchy. "That's my special talent." They found a small hole in the bag and poked their heads inside. All they saw was darkness. So Chewy used his stretchy, gooey arms to grab some of the flour and make a makeshift torch. As the three friends looked around, they saw the most peculiar thing. Dozens and dozens of half-baked cookies of all different shapes and sizes lined the walls, as if waiting patiently for someone to finish them. But who would be baking cookies in the middle of the night? And why would he or she be eating all the chocolate chips? Just then, a tiny voice piped up from behind them. "Who's eating all the chocolate chips?" The three friends whirled around to see who was there and bumped right into each other. They tumbled out of the bag and onto the floor, nearly knocking themselves out. When they finally got up, they saw a little squirrel wearing a chef's hat and holding a bag of chocolate chips. He took one look at the cookies the royal bakers had brought with them, and his eyes nearly popped out of his head. "Are those the chocolate chips I was looking for? Are they the ones I dropped last night?" It turned out that this was no ordinary squirrel. He was actually the very polite Mr. Nibbles III, Lord of the Squirrels and connoisseur of fine baked goods. He explained that every night he would come into the kitchen to secretly bake himself a chocolate chip cookie, but he kept eating all the chocolate chips before he could finish. When the royal bakers heard this, they couldn't help but burst out laughing. It was so silly. The whole time they'd been looking for a fearsome monster who was stealing all the chocolate chips. It turned out to be just a little squirrel who liked cookies. Mr. Niblet was so embarrassed that he was caught. He offered to pay the kingdom back by making them all delicious acorn cookies, which everyone loved. And from that day on, whenever the moon was full and the chocolate chips were low, everyone in the kingdom knew it was just Mr. Nibbles trying to make his very own chocolate chip cookie.